Last episode, I made some huge expansions to Main Street, built a power station, and played around with custom sounds, which has really helped bring some life to the park. And today, we finally build our first ride, and it's not just any ride, we're gonna make a roller coaster. Hopefully. So I've just got back from 10 days in Germany. Me and Mrs. B went to Gamescom, which was epic, and we even got to meet some of you there, which was nice. But before we went to Gamescom, we went to a theme park just south of Cologne called Phantasialand, and we spent 3 days there exploring the park, going on the rides, and basically just staring awestruck at the level of immersion this park provides. It really is outstanding. I highly recommend it. All of the areas were very well themed. It had an African area, a Chinese area, a mystery zone, a Fantasyland, and Mexico. But it also had a steampunk zone called Rookborough, and it is incredible. So today we're going to take some inspiration from this area of Phantasialand and create a roller coaster, which we're going to do just off of Main Street, probably down that alleyway there. And I've never built a roller coaster before in Minecraft, so yeah, I don't really know what's possible. I don't know how this is going to turn out, but hopefully we can make something that not only looks good, it also rides well. We're going to be doing a whole lot of experimenting today, I think. But we've got plenty of space out here to put something in, and we do also have the monorail, which we need to make sure we can still weave through this area. So yeah, that's going to throw a bit of a spanner in the works. But I think this is going to be the perfect place to try and build our first roller coaster. Question is, where do I begin? I mean, like Rookborough, I do want to do it as a hanging coaster, so we're going to be making good use of monorail here. And I guess it makes sense to start with some kind of a station. And I'm wondering, maybe we can have a queue line go over here somewhere, and then we can stick a couple of buildings in, and then maybe have the station over this direction somewhere. But I think in order to figure this out, it's going to make sense to block out a few buildings here. So let's just make a start with that and see how we get on. So let's use some of these Dean bricks here. So if we have one building here, maybe stick another one along this bit. We're going to need to expand this stone area out here as well by quite a lot, but we'll worry about that later. For now, we'll just mark out where the buildings will be. So if we maybe have a few small buildings like this, and then over this way, we'll have a great big building, and this will act as our station one. And we've got plenty of space to put in a queue line, add a bit of interest, and we've got lots of open space for the station that isn't too close to the monorail. I think this could work. Let's just get these buildings built up a little bit. I've gone ahead and got a few basic building shapes in, but before we go any further, I think I want to work out where the queue line's going to go, because that's going to kind of dictate how high up the station sits on this building here. And I think for this queue, we're going to start somewhere around here. We'll probably extend it out this way later, but for now, if we maybe put in a bridge across this bit here, which is going to be a waterway, we can just stretch that straight across like that, put in some handrails. Then I guess we're going to need a doorway in this bit here, and we need to get up there. So something like this should work nicely. This gives us space to put some interesting bits in between the queue line, and we'll do the same up here in this area. I think I am going to swap out this floor. In fact, let's quickly do that now. Right, that's better. A bit more of a solid floor going on. Then we're going to come out this wall here, put in a couple of supports. We're going to build a bridge across this gap here, I think. And this should give the people queuing a good view of the roller coaster, which should end up being over there somewhere. We're going to have steps going up into this area. So I guess we need to go a couple of blocks higher here. So let's do one more tough block. And then to separate the top and the bottom, we'll just use this industrial plating. So now we know that this is the level that the station needs to be at, and that means I can safely start to map out where the top level here is going to be. So I've just been putting in all the handrails for these queue lines, and I think I've worked out roughly where I need the station to go. We're going to have a separate queue line here to go in the front row, because that's the thing that theme parks do, and everyone else will go off this way and then separate into these sort of little areas which people will use to load. And I'm probably going to have to move these once I've actually figured out the carriage design, but this is more just to give me an idea and make sure we've got enough space, and that means this is where we're going to have our station. That means it's time to crack out some monorail. Question is, how high up do we put it? Is that going to be high enough? Probably not. Let's go one higher. That should give us plenty of space to build carriages. And I think before we start building the track, it is going to make a lot of sense to actually build the train cart itself. And that means I need to go get a whole lot of stuff and things from the boat, such as a train station, some train casings. Probably going to want some chairs. I'll grab myself some stuff and things, and hopefully we can now make ourselves a wonderful roller coaster train cart type thing. What do you even call it? Carriage, maybe? I don't really know. But anyway, right, what are we gonna do here? So let's start with a couple of temporary blocks and work out the seats first, which I think should probably be about here, maybe in a row of 3. And I did learn from somebody wonderful in the comments that you can actually turn these arms off somehow. Yep, there we go. I have to turn them off on both sides. And I wonder, do I have any? No, I don't. Right, let's grab some of these and some of these. I wonder if maybe we stick a water wheel on the back here. Looking weird. And I think what I want to do is get underneath it and maybe use... Nope, didn't mean to get in. Oh, jeez. Let's go back under. Right. Nope. Can I stick a copycat panel there? There we go. We're going to extend those out on either side because we need to attach this to this. So maybe we can use some of these funky levers. These are quite cool. Get them pointing downwards. And I'm thinking we can try these big chains. All right, that's looking pretty good. But I think I want to get back underneath again and see if we can put in... Oh, geez, I did it again. Got to remember to hold shift. We do that. I give it a little something, maybe. I mean, to be honest... I think that's probably all we need. What do we think? Maybe I should build a couple more just so we can see how a row of them looks. Well, now that we've actually got 3 sitting there, I think I really like that. This should work nicely, and we're going to get maybe 8 or 9 sort of carriages in here, but we also need to figure out where we're going to put the train controls. So I wonder, actually, could we maybe do them at the front here? If I was to move this chair maybe just back a slot, put that one there, and then I'm going to need some train controls, but I also need a whole bunch more train casings as well, so that I can make all the bogies to actually get this thing up and running. So I'm going to go get those bits and I'm going to build up a whole bunch more carriages, and when I bring you back in, hopefully this is going to look a little bit more complete. And a short while later, I've got everything glued together. We've got train controls at the back here, which I think is where we're going to put our driver, but I've also got train controls at the front so that I can actually experience the ride at the front myself and control everything and just check and so on. But I think that looks pretty good, and I'm hoping it's actually going to form together. It appears to have worked. Wonderful. So let's see how well I actually stuck this together, shall we? Doesn't look too bad. We just need a whole lot more track. So this is going to be interesting. I feel like the first thing we want to do coming out of the station is maybe go up a little bit and then sort of dive down. So if I do this... Excellent, we can get it to go at a 45-degree angle. This is good. Can I just connect this onto here? Doesn't appear so. I think I need to sort of flatten this out first. So can we connect this onto this? So we can connect that to there. Hopefully we can now connect this down to this bit. No, apparently it's too steep. I have a feeling this could take a while just to work out this first little lump. Right, well I got there eventually, so we go up a little bit and then we're gonna go down into a steep decline. So I just need to try and get this next bit lined up now. So something like that should do the job. And that means I'm gonna need a nice big hole down here. So I've been making some pretty good progress on the track. We've now got this bit going underground. It then swoops out and round, and then it goes up, and then swoops down into a small helix, and dips back down underground again. This then loops back through this building, back to the outside, and I'm just trying to figure out where I'm going to go next. I do quite like the idea of making use of this hole here again, so I wonder if maybe we can sort of bring it round and do a little something or other, and then come up under here. I'm just going to keep laying track and see where we end up. Well, it's taken me about an hour and it looks fairly chaotic, but I think I have a completed track, and I also seem to have a couple of rendering issues. But I'm hoping if we take this train out for a ride, we should be able to get all the way back in one piece, hopefully. So what I'm going to do is load up some coal into the barrel, and I think initially we're going to drive it from the back here just so I can get a view of it going round and hope that it looks okay. So here we go, first ride. Oh, okay, I clipped the ground down here. Just need to dig this out a little bit more. So hopefully that bit will be okay. Let's check the rest. That looks pretty cool. Get down underground here, swoop up around the building. Back underground again. Up, one last swoop. And there we go, we are at the end. Okay, this seems to work. That looks awesome on the track. But obviously, we've still got a lot of work to do. The track is just floating, so we need to put some kind of struts and stands in, and we need to theme this entire area. Yeah, I don't know how much of that we're going to get done today. I also want to clean up these holes in the ground as well, just to make it all make a little bit more sense. And I think the first step in that is probably going to be just to tidy it all up. This is going to take quite a while. Progress is being made. I've tidied things up. These holes are looking a little bit better. Obviously, this is all just block color at the moment. We do need to do a lot of detailing, texturing, and things like that. But I'm standing here looking at this track, and I'm wondering if this end piece is a little bit boring. I mean, I like the start. We've got lots of underground swooshy bits. We've got like a bit of a mini helix going on. But once we get to this area here, sort of coming out of this hole, it just sort of casually goes around and connects up to the end, and it's very, very boring. So yeah, I'm gonna have a little bit of a play around with that and see if I can make it much more interesting, which probably means I'm gonna need to redo some of these holes. Well, that feels a whole lot better. We've still got our rendering issues, annoyingly, but yeah, we're just gonna have to overlook those, I guess. Maybe I'll figure out a way to fix that eventually, but for now, we've got a much more interesting bit. Instead of just coming up here and going round, it now goes round the top, goes into a nice big wobbly helix all round this way, and then goes up, dips down underground, and then goes back to the station. And that's much more exciting for our roller coaster. But we've still got a whole lot of work to do here. There's no theming in the area. I need to somehow sort of board up all the outside to make it look enclosed. I need to put lots of stuff in the middle. And I also need to put some structure in for the track, because currently it's all just floating in midair, and that just looks weird. I think the best way for me to do this is probably just to spend a bit of time blocking out some buildings around the outside. We'll just get some basic shapes in for now. A bit like what we've done over here, I guess. And then we'll just expand on it from there. I guess I'll be seeing you in a few hours. In the meantime, enjoy this wonderful time lapse. You'll be pleased to know I am indeed making some progress. It does look very bland at the moment, of course. They're all just buildings in block color, but if we go all the way around the back here, I think I'm also going to put like a small bridge or footpath across this bit here. But this actually goes all the way round into a street around the back here, so you can see the ride up close here as well. In fact, what I might need to do is actually lower this bit down, because otherwise you're probably going to get taken out by the ride going past. There we go, just a little something like that should do the trick. But yeah, we've still got lots of roofs to put on, we've got lots of detail to do, we've got pits to fill up with stuff and things, and I've got a whole lot more buildings to block out. I best crack on. That is looking a whole lot better now. We've got a bit of a skyline going on. Obviously, as I say, we do need to detail all of these buildings. We're probably going to have some shop fronts, some fake shop fronts, maybe some real ones as well. And as you can see, you do actually have the roller coaster going around now as well, which is looking awesome, although it's still floating. So I do need to come up with some kind of stands or brackets that are going to hold up parts of the rail. And I think in this middle area here, I maybe want to add a couple more buildings, maybe one over here, potentially some small ones around somewhere, or some carts or something like that. But I also really need to do the entrance area to this ride. So I think that's what I'm going to focus on next. We're going to put some kind of a queue line in here, maybe a small cafe, and I want to sort out this area here. I think we're just going to have this water going into the wall down there. We'll put some kind of drain or grate or something in there, no doubt. But I also need to work out where the monorail's going to go, because that needs to cut through here somewhere and get over to there. But I can't have it clashing with this ride. So maybe it can come through here and then go up and over that rail, potentially? I'm not entirely sure, but I'll see what I can do. But first up, let's figure out this queue line. I think that's looking pretty good for a queue entrance. I've decided to call the ride Aeronautica, which, yeah, I don't really know what it means, but it looks a bit flighty, I guess. I used some weird AI online logo generator thing for that instead of stealing an image from Google this time. Don't know what's worse. But we've got a weird sort of geary contraption here just to go in with the theme. We've got the start of the entrance queue here. We've got pipes and things like that. And we now go over this area here, which I do still need to add a bit of detail to, but you can kind of see where I'm going with it. We've also got these water wheels down here for no apparent reason, but it adds a nice bit of movement. And then it's going to go into the building where I've done absolutely nothing as yet. We've got lots of theming still to do around this area. And I think as part of that, I want to put some kind of steampunky looking cafeteria around here. Almost like a shack kind of thing, I guess. Let's see what I can do. And a short while later, this whole area is looking a lot nicer. The entrance is now got a little bit of pavement going on as well, but we've also got this cafe off to the side. Made it look very steampunky with all the pipes and so on. It sells a variety of drinks, including Bovril, of course, all being served up by this random guy. I just kept typing in words till I found a skin that looked good. I've also had a bit of a play around with the support structure for the coasters, and I think something like this could work quite nicely, so I'm going to get some of these scattered around, and I'm thinking maybe with this bit here, because we've got two, we could actually put a big structure in and put some kind of observation post or something like that anyway. And in regards to the monorail, I have actually got it in now. We've got these sort of steampunky looking stands just carrying the monorail all the way through and into that building there, and it's completely clear of the ride, which is good. But yeah, more support for this, which is going to involve structures, supports coming off the buildings, and maybe even a couple of extra buildings too. Well, as I'm sure you can imagine, this is taking absolutely forever, but I am making some good progress. So the roller coaster track itself now has supports in lots of places. We've got the great big observation tower here, which you can get up to the top of, and it would be nice to put something on top of that, maybe a big balloon or something. Not entirely sure yet, but I've also started playing around just with the entrance area here, just getting some smaller details in, a sign pointing towards the big ride in the area. We've even got a bit of seating and some lighting, because I do really want to have it so when you get a good look through here, you can really see things kicking off. I think maybe a bit of smoke coming out of this hole below here could be quite good as well, because then the actual coaster will go down through a wall of smoke, but it'll also add a little bit of detail and a little bit of movement too. In fact, I think I might do that now, which means I need to make some of these. I need flattened iron and I need some campfires. That should be easy enough. Let's just make a bunch of these. And I think we'll keep some campfires too, because it might be good to mix up the smoke types a little bit. Let's go see if we can make this work. So what I'm thinking is, if we dig out some of these, just scatter them about a little bit, with some campfires as well. And what we can actually do is we can dye the smoke on these smokestacks. And I don't really want it to be big, thick, black smoke. So let's do a mixture of white and grey. Wow, okay, that's a big old wall of smoke. Then if we just cover up the tops of these, the smoke should still come through just fine. How's that looking from out here? Okay, that's looking pretty cool. Maybe a little bit too much smoke. Let's see if we can thin that out a little bit. Let's maybe get rid of this stack and... Ow! Ow! Oh, that nearly killed me. And let's get rid of that stack as well. Maybe just put in a couple of fireplaces again. Yeah, that's looking much better. Well, I think I'll remove both of the grey ones. So let's just make one of them grey again. All right, looking good, and that should look quite good from the coaster's perspective as well when he comes around and dips down. Yeah, look at that. Wonderful. Actually causes a slight break in the smoke as well, which is good. But anyway, slight distraction. Something else we've done is get down some extra buildings. So I've got this one here, which I think I'm actually going to turn into a toilet block. I know. We've never really done toilets before. We avoided them completely last series. But this is a theme park. We're definitely going to need some public toilets. So I'm thinking that's what this block here could be quite nicely used for. And I've also got a building here, which I'm going to have as some kind of small airship dock, is my current thinking. So yeah, I need to kind of come up with a design for some small airships that I can scatter about. And then there's this building here as well, which is a bit janky and a bit random, and I have no idea what I'm going to do with it, but I'll figure something out. But I've got absolutely no hope of getting all of this done in this episode. There's just way too much detailing to do. All the buildings are going to look wonderful by the time we're finished, but yeah, that might be a couple of episodes time. That being said, I do want to make sure I actually finish off the ride portion of this. So that means these buildings here, I do want to get all these looking nice, and more importantly, I want to sort out the actual queue line itself. So I need to get a little bit more detail down here still, a bit of mossy stuff. I need to get some points of interest over on these sides, and I really need to sort out something for the center of this queue line. I think it'll be quite nice to have some movement of some kind, so maybe we can actually utilize the power we're creating from those water wheels to get get some stuff spinning. And then we've got this top section here, which we need to do something with as well. Moving outside, it's pretty much just this wall here and maybe this small courtyard we could do something with. And of course, we've got lots to do with the station. And as you can see, it is picking up a lot of mobs. We've got a few dark patches on the course, let's say. Basically, I've not lit up the tunnels at all. So yeah, we're going to need to solve this problem as well. The last thing we need to do is the exit line for the ride, because obviously people get on from this side, they get on the ride, and then when they finish, they should get off on this side, but they don't currently have anywhere to go. So I think my plan is to send them downstairs, and if we swoop around here and create a hole in this wall here somewhere, this will kick us out onto this back street here, and I think this is going to be the perfect place for a queue line exit. Well, I have also decided I do need to move these stairs. They don't quite work where they are. There we go, that's a bit better. People are less likely to bang their heads, and there's even somewhere to sit now. But that's enough waffle. What are we going to do about this queue line? Maybe we could start with a small sort of tank thing going on here and maybe some pipes going into the wall. Put those into solid tanks. Get a bracket on there and a copper casing in there. Oh, I fell in. Then maybe we could continue these pipes over here, over the edge, as if it's actually taking water out of the bottom area. Yeah, that looks all right. I think on this side here, I just want to dump down some barrels and some storagey type things, but for that, I'm actually going to need, more barrels. I mean, I've got plenty of barrels, but I don't want them all looking the same. If we come over here to our woodwork station, we've got lots of choice, so let's get some of those. Oh, actually, I'm going to need to split these up if I want different ones. Let's get some orange ones, let's get some red ones, nice oak ones, and some reinforced oak. So let's just get a few of these mixed in. Just something like that should do. And I think I want to sort out the outside of this building next. Let's start off with giving it some great big windows. Then I think I'm going to put a pipe right up the center of this building. I mean, it does have water wheels at the top after all. It needs to get water somehow. I guess connecting that over to there would be the clever thing to do. Then let's maybe get a bit of texture on this as well. Right, well that's already looking a lot better than just having a big white wall there. I mean, it's pretty well hidden at the back here through everything else as well, but it definitely adds to the area. Maybe I should sort out these two walls as well while I'm here. All right, that's the side of that building done, and I've also sorted out this bit here. We've managed to get some moss in, make it look a little bit more watery and nasty. And that brings us onto this interior. What do we do about this? I mean, first up, we could do with texturing the walls, I guess, and then I need to figure out what I'm going to put in the middle. Some kind of contraption, I guess. Doesn't need to actually do anything, it just needs some moving parts, I think. Some moving parts just like this, and I can confirm it does absolutely nothing. It's literally just a selection of spinny roundy things, and then some belts and other spinny bits. We've got a couple of levers down the bottom, but it really does help this room, especially with the textured walls. We've got some posters up. I've even brought back some of the posters from last season that Sloy made us because, well, they're awesome. As well as some generalized steampunky type of advert posters going around, and upstairs we've just got more of the same, more steampunky posters flying around, just to kind of build up the theme as you queue up for this ride. And I think that works quite nicely. So with that side of the queue line all sorted, what I need to do now is sort out this bit here. So that'll be these two buildings, and I do need to finish off the side of this building as well. Looking good and looking very coppery, but I think this works for this area. I've just made lots of pipes on this building. This one here is a shop front that you can't actually get into. There's nothing in there, it's all blocked off, but I had to put something there. And then we've got a garage on this side just going into the bottom part of the warehouse, which has been labeled A1. This is kind of the sort of air dock, I guess. Air dock 1, yep, we'll go with that. But I think we're still missing a couple of things, and what I might actually do is bring back one of the vehicles from last season, or at least something similar, and get some kind of old school van parked up on the side here maybe, and maybe a bit of seating. But up the top here, I think I'm gonna do another one of, I can't see it from here, where is it? Over there. Another one of these, or at least something similar. And then we can have an airship flying in to dock in this area as well. And I think overall that's going to look pretty cool and add something nice for the people in the queue to look at. First up though, let's build a truck. And if you want to see how these are built, I did actually do a lot of these in my last series. I'll link to one of them below. But I'll see you once we've got a couple more bits in and we're ready to build an airship. which I'm sure is going to be no trouble at all. Yep, I'm sold. I think that looks pretty good. We've got a little sort of water delivery type truck here, similar to the ones in the last world, but without all the angled blocks and a little bit more steampunky, I guess, with the kind of metal look that we've given it. And not only that, I've also put in a docking bay type thing up here, ready to receive an airship, and that's what we're going to try and work out now. I guess we should start by getting up to height. I think I'm going to start my airship right about here. And I've got a bit of an idea of how this could work. So we're going to start it with the seats. Then we're going to get ourselves some spruce and make some trapdoors. So if we put some slabs in like this, get rid of those, put that one back in, stick a trapdoor on top, and then remove that. At the back, we'll stick a block and get rid of that. Get rid of that holder bit as well. Stick trapdoors on the side here and here. And we're not really going to have enough space on this little thing to put a windmill fan, so I think we're going to tie it in with what we've got going on with the roller coaster, which means I need myself a water wheel. Let's just stick that on the back. And then we'll grab some of those fancy levers if we've got any left. Yep, there we go. There's some. Those in there. Right, that's the ship part of the airship. How's that looking? Pretty good size-wise. That should fit in there just nicely. So for a balloon, we're going to need chains to hold it on. And we're going to use sanded diorite for this because I don't have enough wool. And I think to save myself a little bit of trouble once I've done this, I'm going to build myself a little platform to jump down onto. Right, now, where were we? Balloon. How to balloon. Something like this. Maybe like that again. And then 3 out the side. 3 on top. 3 out that side. I mean, no. No. Okay, I've been messing around quite a bit, but I think I've got the balloon shape looking pretty good. Maybe it needs some rope. Yeah, that looks well cool. But it does need a driver, which means I need a straw statue. And there he is. Right, okay, so first up, poses. Should be a sitting one. Yep, there we go. Then we need to do something very important and turn off gravity. That means we can lower his position. At least we should be able to. That's really weird. I don't know why I can't actually adjust the Y position. In fact, I can't adjust the position of this dude at all. It's all very strange. I'm going to try something else. Hello, horsey. Come with me. I do love the carry-on mod, but sometimes it is quite ridiculous. I've just picked up a horse. Right, now we've just got to get him up there. Don't worry, horsey, it'll be fine. Okay, you wait right there. Figure this out together. And I just click there. There we go. Oh, he's a bit too big. This isn't going to work. Maybe we should get something else. Oh, the horse disappeared. That's weird. Right, let's try this. Definitely the first pig that I picked up. Oh, yes. Well, then, perfect. Just needs like a little pilot's helmet or something and it'll be sorted. Sadly, I can't do that, so he's just going to have to remain a pig. Oh, yes. Look at him down there. Wonderful stuff. Oh, I'm still missing a block, though. That's better. We've got a little pig pilot in there. Excellent stuff. And with that, I think we're pretty much done with this queue area. We've just got the rest of this place to decorate now. This is going to take forever.